why would I buy that when I can just get this? And silicon over time it's gonna give out, it's gonna crack, and it's gonna rip. I don't see it as too much of a reliable, long lasting. I think it's then it's and then I wouldn't recommend it. There's better options and I'll show you which ones right now. Hello, it's Papito. In today's video, I'll be showing you a couple of the third-party companies most popular within the customizing community. Just because a lot of people ask me, hey, what's a base body? Where do I get that? You know, this and that when I'm doing customs. I'll put it all together in one video. Use this, and instead of asking me or other people, you already know, just watch this, you know? We're gonna be going over a couple of companies, not only for like base bodies, but also some of the SHF stuff. So you can get cheap alternatives, so you can also make customs. But this list was made by Moishak, so as you know, go follow him if you haven't. But yeah, primarily these, I'll just be showing you the companies, and then you can go out and buy them or do whatever you want. I'll try to give you an idea where you can get them because some of them may be out of stock. But let's go ahead and get started. You know what I mean? Representing, you know? I here with my Glock, you know? Pop a cap in your ass. Alright, so this next one up, you can find it on AliExpress. I believe 5K Toys if they have it in stock, but primarily AliExpress if you don't have it. Just go for the most popular one. It's Kunk Studios. So these guys are knocking it out of the park. They're doing a lot of Super Saiyan 4. They're doing a lot of Xenoverse. They're doing a lot of... Did they do AF? Have they done AF? I think they have. They did a Sidecore. But yeah, these guys are doing a hell of a lot more varied stuff than SHF. At this point, I'm at the point where it's like SHF is kind of like whatever for me, and they don't really bring out anything new that gets me excited. Now these guys keep on popping like new stuff that is like, damn. I stopped collecting Dragon Ball Z a long time ago, but when they announced their Broly, which is this one, I was like, damn, you know, this is a really nice figure. And I believe this one for MSRP went for like 80 bucks, which is not bad, dude. Here, let me put a 6-inch figure next to it. So just so you can get an idea. And it comes with a shit ton of accessories, a shit ton of, you know, they jumped their hoops and loops due to licensing. Like they call this like the head of pen holder. The point is, these guys are doing more creative stuff than SHF, and a lot of times it kind of sucks because those guys went a little bit stale, as I mentioned, and they're not really too creative in their variations, and Kunk Studio does that really good. So I highly recommend these guys. Also the quality, like their quality is not bad. It's like, I know there's some replicas out there or some bootlegs or like, you know, those type of companies that just copy others. But this, dude, it's an all original sculpt. And what's funny is that the moment they were releasing this one, SHF was announcing their Broly re-release that hadn't been released in a long time. And I'm like, why would I buy that when I can just get this? Which is gonna be cheaper. And is it bigger? Because I have the original. I think it is bigger, and it just overall looks better, dude. It comes with like the crossed arms option, so it's just like, you know, I don't know, SHF is like weird for that, you know. But yeah, these guys are highly recommended. Let's get on to the next one. So these guys next up are a personal favorite of mine, just because I feel like they've been around for a minute, but it's Memory Toys or MediToys. These guys do like generic figures, gladiators, you know, orcs and all that stuff. But when it comes to their quality in their figures, it's really good. It's really good. And I'm excited for all the stuff they got going on. So yeah, they got a bunch of stuff going on. This is the one I use for the Hulk. So just so everybody knows, you can get these in AliExpress. I know you could also get them in Amazon, but you're gonna pay a little bit more in Amazon. So just go for AliExpress, and if they're in stock, in 5K Toys. But yeah, the quality of these are really good. They go for like, what is this? World of Warcraft, right? Yeah, I think they go for like the World of Warcraft type of aesthetic when it comes to the characters. I'm not familiar with them, but I do see they announced they got the licensing for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm pretty excited about. And I honestly think those are gonna be the best TMNT figures out in the market right now. They're gonna be better than the Mezco and better than the Revoltech ones. So I definitely am getting those. But yeah, when it comes to the rest of the figures, I haven't had much experience, but when it comes to the articulation and sculpt wise, it's like out of this world, honestly. It's really good. And all based on just this figure, because it's really good. Usually they go for a little bit more. I think it's like 80 bucks for the orc figure. They're really high quality, and the character variation is really, really nice. They also have like this orc with 2 heads, and just in general, that's a pretty pretty cool design, you know. I think that's part of these companies, like why make something, you can make something generic, but when you add that little bit of, you know, accessories, head sculpts, hands, axe, swords, and all that stuff, it just makes it pop even more and makes it worthwhile, you know. So Memory Toys, big shout out to them. They do really nice stuff, you know. So next one up is gonna be Patriot Studio. These guys do a lot of horror characters. They do a lot of the Resident Evil ones, but they can't call it Resident Evil. But I don't have any of these personally, but I do have a friend who has a couple of them, and he says they're pretty legit. Like in terms of like visual aesthetics, they look pretty nice. And if you're able to pre-order them, you can get them at a really good value. I know they run a little bit smaller, like right at 6-inch, but usually if you're getting them, it's for having within the collection, you know what I mean? So because they do Chris, they do Leon, they do the chainsaw with the from Resident Evil 4, and they have a lot of creature characters that just overall look pretty cool, you know. I don't have much to say about these guys other than their stuff is pretty cool, and I haven't heard any complaints when it comes to their quality, you know. So shout out to Patriot Studios. Oh, okay, Phison. These guys, it's because look, the Phison bodies, these bodies that have been in the game for a really long time. They first started at 1/6 scale, and then they brought it down to the 1/12 scale with the regular like Phison body. It's available on Amazon, I believe. But personally, out of doing customs and being in the community, I haven't seen much people use it because it's silicone, and when it comes to like clothes, it's not easy to put it on top. It rubs against the surface of the skin really bad because there's a lot of surface tension because of the silicone, and you need like baby powder to like actually slip on any type of clothes you want to put on top of it. I've seen it used more within the 1/6 than the 1/12, but also this one, I know they tend to go a little bit smaller, like right around 6 inches. I've seen people use it, but use it as a just like nude body for like the Terminator and stuff. I haven't used people use it as a legit underbody, you know. Plus these are made of silicone, dude, and silicone will not last. Yeah, they're made of silicone, dude, and silicone over time is gonna give out, it's gonna crack, and it's gonna rip. So I don't see it as too much of a reliable, long-lasting material. For base bodies, I wouldn't use it. I know it's super articulated because it has the under armature within the silicone, but still, dude, it's like I don't see it's worthwhile, you know. I think it's more popular with the female bodies for all the 1/6 schooner collectors out there because they all have anatomically correct proportions on some of them. So it's mostly for the 1/6 schooners for sure. But yeah, 1/12 collectors and customizers, we don't use these type of bodies. You know, I wouldn't recommend it for a 1/12 custom. So there's better options, and I'll show you which ones right now. All right, let's check out these guys. Their name are NW Toys. Well, you know, they listen to the community, which is important. They do a lot of corrections. Their base body is the NW Toys 0, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically the neutral body. Is more of a skinnier body. It's usually used for Nightwing, Daredevil, Invincible. I've used it for Iron Fist in my video. And they also do like standalone figures. They did like Bruce Lee, they done like a Logan, and in general, just it's really good. What I like that they did is that for their male body, the first version, there was an issue with the QC that the ball joint on the shoulder, if you moved it, it would crack and split, and the arm will fall off. I'm pretty sure I got an arm laying somewhere. But what I like that they did is that they listened to the community, and they're like, okay guys, we're gonna release a 2.0. We fixed that issue with the shoulders where they get stuck and they pop. We're gonna give you a better skin tone. We're gonna add an extra neck because the one that we originally have is too thick for regular bodies. So we're gonna do an extra one. We're gonna keep the same price, and we're gonna send it out. So that's the one thing that I do like, is that not only is it like really articulated, like really good, the parts are interchangeable for the Mezco. So let's say, for example, you swap out the arm, the joint connection 7 times out of 10 is going to be interchangeable with the Mezco. So you can just plug and play with the parts. That's going to be for the forearms and the legs as well. Now when it comes to the joints for the boots, that's really like, I haven't used any personally that work with them, but when it comes to like a base body, it's pretty good, you know. Actually, I have it somewhere laying around for a Daredevil, but yeah, that's gonna be in a future video. But yeah, highly recommended. So this one is a really bad one. These guys, well look, I haven't purchased much from these guys, but the one I did purchase was a total complete catfish, okay? And that's gonna be from JM Toys, the Cold series, Cold War, Terminator, Lonely Hero, basically the Red Sun Batman figure. it's a total catfish. The figure that you get on, like, you're looking at the picture is not the one that you're getting. The one that you're getting, the head pops up, the skin tones are not the same. Even like the proportions, bro, they're like not good. Same thing with the Sub-Zero that they did. I heard really bad things about that. How it's like not good, you know. But I can tell you from experience, the parts that are being used for like the overlays and all that stuff and like the material used is not one that you can tell it's high quality. But surprisingly, when it comes to the base body, is really good. It's really articulated, and it's not like that cheap material, you know. It's actually like a gummy material that's kind of like flexible, kind of like this in a way. You know how that flex? So the underbody is made out of that, so that makes it a little bit more resistant. And when it comes to articulation, it's really good. Actually, this is the Red Sun Batman figure. The base body, as I said, is like really articulated. Here, let me take this out. So look at that. That's really good. I turn it into an invincible, and literally I use all the parts from the same figure, the cowl, the gloves, the boots, everything is from that figure, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's just the Batman is really bad because then the head pops up because of the color piece, and just in general the articulation because of the suit is not good. But once you take off the suit, it's pretty good. So for fodder, for like a base body, I feel like it's okay, because if you have a suit from C4 Charles, you could easily turn that into an invincible if you want to do that. So I can't recommend it for like the intended character, but for fodder, I say do it. Or even for like an invincible, but I think it's like 50 bucks on AliExpress. But yeah, get it. It is not a really good Batman figure. Hello, sorry to interrupt. This is Papito. I know you know, but I just want to let you know that I also have an Etsy. If you want to get any of the projects that I've done in this channel, you can get them through there. Also, I recommend you join my Discord because I'm there almost every day. You can chat with other people and ask questions about customizing, 3D printing, and all that stuff. Also, I invite you to subscribe. I know you're currently subscribed to a guy that doesn't post videos, and you still give him the subscribe, and you haven't given it to me, so I ask you to reconsider that. I also invite you to comment the salute emoji in the comment section, just so I know you're watching. But let's keep going with the video. Up next, we got Mythril Studio. These guys are the ones that made the other orc besides the memory toy people. Because these guys, same thing, they're doing World of Warcraft orcs. I think it is World of Warcraft. I might be wrong. But anyway, these guys are the ones that do that one. I think their more popular ones are going to be the green and the gray one, which both have been used to make Hulk figures. Just finally, I think, what's his name? Mantu Maru. I mean, in terms of articulation, it's good. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's just the proportions of these, I'm not the biggest fan of it, because it's a really broad shoulders and a kind of like really small waist. And if you don't have anything on top of that covering it, it just looks a little bit weird, you know. But also the sculpture of the hands look a little bit too squared off. Just in general, some things just don't make it click for me, aesthetically speaking. But when it comes to accessories wise, these are like huge in accessories. But same thing, it's like, I don't know, it's like the aesthetics for the memory toys. I don't know, it's cause like, if you take the memory toys and this one, each one has different things that will satisfy you. But if I were to choose one, I would go with the memory toys, not only because the aesthetics of the musculature look better, but also the articulation is a little bit better too. The Mythril one is mostly like soft plastic when it comes to the parts, and the arm is a little bit loose and it pops up more than I like to, because it has like a hinge butterfly joint on the inside, so it just pops out really easy. But let's say I start moving with this, there you go, it pops up, and it's not necessarily broken, it's just because there's not enough friction in the butterfly, so you can just hold it in and it like moves until it lifts up and comes out. So I don't know, and I do plan on making a Hulk out of this, of course. It's just, I don't know what Hulk I want to make it, but leave it in the comment below which one I should turn this one to. I was thinking maybe Immortal, but I'm still deciding. So let's get on with the next company. I think when it comes to like third-party bodies, like so you can make customs out of them, the ones that are knocking it out of the park are VToys. Let me tell you why. When it comes to like custom figures, you're trying to make it as easy as possible so people plug and play the parts. And these guys, what they did is that they copied the connection points of Mezco. So if you want to grab the Mezco and you want to give it like updated articulation with VToys, which they do have really good articulation, you can just plug and play, because the forearms and the boots and all that stuff, they fit the Mezco figures. So yeah, just in general, VToys is like really good because they do a lot of original designs, which include their highly articulated figures. They did a Titan from Attack on Titan. They did like a Batman from Hell. They do like a Red Hood characters and stuff like that. So just in general, they're they have a lot of variations within the same body, and just it looks really good and it's really articulated. So the other thing that you did right is because they did the body, right, the base body, but they made it accessible where if you want to connect like mesco parts, like forearms and all that stuff, you can, because they just pop in really easily. That's how I made this mesco Punisher. The base body is VToys. I grabbed a knockoff from AliExpress Punisher from mesco knockoff, and literally I just popped it from the leg down, forearm down. I put in the knockoff part, and now I have a super articulated mesco Punisher, which is really nice and it's held up really good. So it's really recommended. I believe you can get it at 5K Toys, eBay, and AliExpress. AliExpress and 5K Toys probably being your better option, and they don't go for much. They're like $30, and they come with a bunch of variations. So yeah, these guys are really highly recommended. So definitely check those out. Oh, this one, I've seen this one. Okay, these guys are brand new. They haven't released it just yet, but this is the Sexy Eyes company. These guys, it's third party, but they're really going based on Bravotech Yamaguchi articulation, because actually I think it's just, I don't have much to say because they haven't released the figure that is really popular with them. They released like a Mantis one, but yeah, dude, these guys look hella legit. I mean, I don't have much to say, but other than they look really good, and a lot of people are excited for it, you know, because of the pictures they taken. And they give you like a schematic of the articulation as well, just so you can get an idea of all the other pieces. And it's pretty interesting looking, gotta say. And based on their pictures too, it's like, it seems like it's gonna be super articulated. But yeah, I have high hopes for this one. I did not pre-order it, but I'm only excited for everything else they got going on. So we'll see. Sexy Ice. That's a weird name, Sexy Ice, for a toy company. Well, Hot Toys is weird too, so I don't know, Asian companies. So here we have Muff Toys. Another, I think it's VToys, then it's Muff Toys, and then NW Toys. In terms of like popularity with people, because these guys, what they did special is that, okay, VToys has a medium body, right? NW Toys has a skinny body. These guys listened to the people and said, what are we missing? A thick body. So I think that's their most popular purchase, like their most popular figure within the community. How they got, well, that's how I knew them. It's called the Atom Body. And it's like basically a muscular figure. Let me see if I have one here. Well, no, it's the one I use for my Conquest, and a lot of people use it for Conquest, Bane, Dark Knight Returns. You know, they use it for a lot of very bigger characters. But also the announcement they have ready, like they have like a Superman, they have a Dark Knight Returns, and yeah, just in general, it's like really good quality, really good detail, really good articulation. But if you want to get right now a Muff Toys Atom Body, it's around $50 to $60 when MSRP goes for like $30. I recommend you stack up on a couple, just because you don't know where you might use it for, and later they go for a higher price. I think my favorite one that I've seen that they use is the 6" plus kit for the Thor. I think that one probably fits that body the best, and it looks really good. But yeah, Muff Toys, a kiss to you. You know, I use them a lot. I have like 3 of these bodies. But yeah, really recommended, and really good articulation and proportions. Really nice. All right, this next one is gonna be Roman Key. This one, it's fairly new from, well, that I know about them. But these guys are also, I mean, these guys go a little bit more into the Yamaguchi aesthetics, maybe. No, I feel like they're better. No, actually, take that back. They do really good bodies. So basically, these guys go for like a more anime style body, more anime style proportions, you know, with the skinnier, more defined detail. For example, these characters are good for anything that's Jujutsu Kaisen, JoJo. The point is, these guys, the articulation really good, they do proportions really good, detail really good, but right now currently they're out of stock. You could probably get them, no, it's because I think the knockoffs are the more popular one, which I've heard really good things about. You can get them on eBay for like $40. I think directly from Roman Key, like the actual company, they go for like 110, you know. The only thing that I don't like about them is that the male and female have anatomically correct areas, which is a little bit, I mean, it's like, why, dude? You know, why? That's such gooner shit, you know? It's just a tiny little detail, but you guys, nobody's gonna use that. Nobody's gonna use that, dude. Just make like a flat, leave it flat, and save the plastic, save like the half cent that you do it on it, because nobody uses it, bro. Everybody tosses it to the side. So that's the only thing that I don't like about him. I'll be getting one soon. I'll probably make a Jotaro out of it. But yeah, just get rid of the Gunner stuff, please. I don't like Gunners in action figures combined. And also they announced like this bigger body one that looks really good. It looks pretty cool. The articulation is pretty cool. The proportions are really good. It's just I don't see any possible character that I could use it for. Maybe a Bane, maybe a Sabretooth, but also there's a whole lot of other anime characters that I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for these guys. They got a lot of things. Shout out to Romanki. Yes. Demoniacal Fit. So Demoniacal Fit, let me tell you a story, bro. It's kind of interesting, and you guys let me know what you guys think about this. These guys, as far as I remember, they were my introduction to third parties or replicas or whatever you want to call it. Because for the longest time, SHF wouldn't do re-releases for a lot of characters and figures that we want. So those figures were skyrocket expensive, right? They would basically give you like the cheap alternative for a lot of characters that you wanted. They would basically bring out their version of a character. They released Captain Ginyu. They did a lot of accessories for Yamcha, Tien. They started off doing accessories for like Goku with the blue hair and all that stuff. They started doing, first of all, accessories, and they started doing figures, right? But at some point, they just kind of like gave up. Let me explain. These guys will not only like copy them, but they will add a little bit of a twist to their figures, so it will make it worthwhile to purchase. Not only that, but they will give you something that's not available, right? Kind of like Kunk Studios, but these guys were first. The thing is, these guys were the first in the game to do all that stuff. They would keep announcing characters that we want. They would show you a lot of renders of like, oh, we got this working. We're working on this Gohan. We're working on this Super Saiyan 4, we're working on this Cooler, we're working on this stuff. But they would announce things and just never finish it. They announced, for example, they've been announcing future Trunks for the longest time, and they just never released it. And then other companies like Kunk Studios that start innovating within their articulation and sculpt wise just knocked them out of the park, because these guys cannot hold up for whatever reason. Also, the account holder is tweaks out every now and then, and I can't expect them to be doing good in sales. I really can't, because they're doing what SHF is now doing, where they're just re-releasing the same body over and over and over again. And when it comes to like creativity, they're really not doing much. Now they're doing, like, for example, Kunk Studios announced something, and then these guys would announce something similar to Kunk Studios but in lower quality. Same thing that happened with the SHF Broly, where the Kunk Studio announced theirs. Demoniacal Fit had announced their version of the re-release for the Broly figure, and then SHF announced their legit version. So out of all those three people, Demoniacal Fit was probably the one that sold less for Broly. And then I remember one time the freaking like they posted a story saying like, we're giving up or something like that, we're selling the account, like their account with like 26,000 followers for like $1,000 or something like that. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like the account holder low-key tweaks every now and then and throws shade at SHF, but I don't know, dude, they need to get a new like rep here. Yeah, for example, they have a picture on their Instagram that is like Tamashii Nations cross Demoniacal Fit, and that's never gonna happen. So just the account holder every now and then just tweaks out. But yeah, that's my tea with them, and everybody knows this, maybe some people may have screenshots about it, but yeah, the account holder definitely tweaks out. And the company, I can't think they're doing too well on characters. Come on, Demoniacal, I know you can do better. Step it up, bringing something new, and you're gonna get a lot more sales instead of doing just renders. That has been the whole video for today. Let me know if you like this introduction to a lot of third parties, because part of the toy community or the customizing community, I feel like, are these third party companies that offer, honestly, sometimes better products than the bigger companies, and Hasbro and Mattel and all that stuff. So yeah, dude, check these out. Let me know which one are you getting. Let me know if you didn't know any of these. I know, for example, like Sexy Eyes, that's one of the newer ones, so maybe not a lot of people know about that one. Now that I was looking at them, I'm pretty interested, but I think the pre-order is already done, so I'll just see what kind of other characters they can do. Because honestly, dude, these companies, if they can get a license of a certain character, kind of like what Memory Toys did with the TMNT, they're gonna knock it out of the park. So it's just giving them notoriety, giving them sales, so these licenses are willing to lend them the characters, so we can get the figures that we want. Let me know what other things I should react to. But alright, later. Bye.